Once you went to Disneyland or Disney World and you start following your kids around, oh, hey, man, you're like, get the away from me. It was almost like Jack Sparrow made people sick of Johnny Depp. I don't know what to think about this, man. I don't know what to do. I'll tell you, I just don't know what to do anymore about Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp just got fired from Fantastic Beasts. Looked like he just got the news right there. What the fuck? But I just got the costume made. I'm looking at him right here, and he's in his costume that he wore for Fantastic Beasts. Looks like he will not be wearing that again because they just put out the announcement due to some rulings that came out of the UK for a certain case. Of course, if you kept up with Johnny Depp, you probably know that this case had something to do with his alleged domestic abuse with Amber Heard. They're saying that he can no longer be a part of this series. And, this is kind of bad news for this movie right here. Between nothing or critically financially, or let me phrase it, nothing critical or financially successful with this series. The Fantastic Beasts, that has not had the same success as Harry Potter at all. And I don't think they expected it to, but it still fell short of that. Between this not being the series that they wanted it to be, also between J.K. Rowling out there running her mouth, man, this has already had enough troubles. Now it's got one more with Johnny Depp.
We're free. Join me. Or die.
Yeah, it looks like we have to go with die because we will not be joining you for this movie right here. And this comes as I was saying after this whole case with this domestic abuse that's going on. But this is not so much about the domestic abuse as it is a libel suit that Johnny Depp had with the British publication, The Sun. They labeled him a wife beater. And of course, to protect his reputation, his image, he says, all right, you know what, cool, say what you want to say. But that shit, the words wife beater, that's got to change. That is not making me look very good. And the judge says, well, I think not only is this valid here, but I think that you are a wife beater. So you know what? It sticks.
Depp had told the court that he was never violent towards his ex-wife and that he had lost the tip of a finger after she threw a vodka bottle at him during one particularly ferocious fight. Now,
there's even more with this going on. I'm gonna pass this off to you, Christian. But first, let me just touch on a couple of things. So I have a lot to actually ask you more than just comment on, because I haven't been keeping up with this stage of this whole ordeal that's been going on with them, and we've all heard a lot of things with this. So Johnny Depp, pretty much, he put out a statement, an official statement from him. It says here, in light of recent events, I would like to make the following short statement. Firstly, I'd like to thank everybody who has gifted me with their support and loyalty. I have been humbled and moved by your many messages of love and concern, particularly over the last few days. Secondly, I wish to let you know that I have been asked to resign by Warner Brothers from my role as Grindelwald in Fantastic Beasts, and I have respected and agreed to that request. Finally, I wish to say this. The surreal judgment of the court in the UK will not change my fight to tell the truth, and I confirm that I plan to appeal. My resolve remains strong, and I intend to prove that the allegations against me are false. My life and career will not be defined by this moment in time. Thank you for reading. Sincerely, I can't really read that, but I think that says Johnny Depp. Now, last thing I heard with this, that's why I say I don't know what the hell is going on anymore. Last thing I heard, everybody was rallying behind Johnny Depp. Everybody said he's the victim here. Everybody says Amber Heard is the one that is actually the crazy one. She not only cut off the tip of his finger when she threw a bottle at him, but she also took a shit on the bed because she's so crazy. And now everybody's back to, you know what? Nah, I think I need to cancel my Johnny Depp subscription. And I don't know what to think anymore, man. I mean, I will say, I want to give your opinion to this, but and we're going to talk about the Warner Brothers decision to fire him. But where do you stand on this, and what is happening, man? Are people still behind Johnny Depp? Is it not cool to be behind Johnny Depp anymore? Is there a sudden shift of opinion?
Right. Okay. So I want to start off by saying that I think that I've always tried to be as fair as I can about this, saying that, like, from what we're seeing after the initial kind of allegations, it seems like Amber Heard was not the best version of herself. But that's not to say that he probably didn't act poorly. And we've seen a couple videos, we've heard a couple fights, and it sounds like it was just a bad situation. Okay. I don't know. It's not really my business to know that. What I will say is I've talked to a few of my friends who live in the UK, and they've said that their libel laws there are just so much different than ours. The standard of proof that they need in order to run something like that is much less or much lower than ours. Also that the Sun is sort of the equivalent of the National Enquirer. So it's like, I want to throw that out there that, like, this shouldn't be taken with the amount of seriousness. This isn't a 60 minutes expose. This isn't fucking the ghost of Walter Cronkite coming back and giving you like some hard hitting news. This is like if TMZ broke a story. And while, yes, TMZ has broken stories before, they're not the first people I would call credible journalism. So with that being said, I feel kind of really bad about this situation, not just because, I feel like Johnny Depp's getting the raw end of this deal, but that there seems to be a little bit of blatant hypocrisy here. Because, not to cast stones at other people, but we saw Ezra Miller like choke a woman. Even if it was a joke, it didn't seem like a joke. Warner Brother production, and even Amber Heard herself, like, which, if nothing else, seemed to participate in a volatile relationship. So it's like, the fact that Warner Brothers is deciding, hey, we're going to make this decision here, we're going to take this stand in the sand or whatever, but we're not going to do it over here, seems really kind of suspect and weird. I feel bad for him, but I also want to say that second film was substantially less successful than the first one, both critically and financially. So maybe this is a blessing in disguise. I don't know. I just think it's bullshit that the libel laws, which are just so much different, the standard of proof from America to UK, is essentially costing this man a job and potentially part of his career. I think that's a little fucked up.
Yeah. Look, I think Warner Brothers is like everybody else, where I think everybody was picking sides at one time, and now I think everybody's like, you know what? I'm sick of both y'all. Both y'all get the fuck out of here. I think because Amber Heard, she was let go from Aquaman. So you got Johnny Depp who's being let go from Fantastic Beasts. And I think Warner Brothers like, both y'all just get the out. I'm sick of both y'all. I don't know. You're not going to mess up our business. Because
wait. Did I miss this story? I thought like there was a bunch of rumors for sure, but I didn't think they officially got rid of Amber.
Oh, is that not true then?
Yeah, I don't think it happened. I mean, I'm sure it could happen. Like, I'm sure. In fact, I expect it to happen because I think of what the reasons that I just said. They need to have logical.
Oh, they said she's still in Aquaman too.
Yeah, so that's where I look at it. We're like the Ezra Miller thing. Look, maybe there wasn't enough detail, and there certainly wasn't a fervor afterwards, right? That story kind of died down. People forgot about it.
Yeah.
But the Amber Heard thing is still very much in the news and prevalent in everyone's lives. So it's really weird that they made that decision without doing the other one.
Yeah, see, so there you go. So I don't even know what's happening with that. Last thing I heard, people were very, and I guess I just read some stuff real quick where she was gone. But I will say this about him getting being taken out. Like I said, man, I don't know what's going on with these two. And to be honest with you, I don't even think Warner Brothers knows what's going on. I don't even think Warner Brothers cares is what's happening with these two. I think Warner Brothers cares about one thing, and that is money. They don't want any kind of bad press to come in and hurt a film that is already a struggling series. They got enough going on with J.K. Rowling and enough going on with, this is not being as successful as they want it to be. So, I mean, they don't know what's happening with Johnny Depp, and they don't care. I think that's probably where sort of the shadiness comes in. I'm not going to even say like it's completely unfair because I don't know. I mean, because I don't think they're doing this for any moral reasons, firing him. They're doing it to cover their ass, and maybe that's a good thing because they're probably like, this whole thing is going back and forth and it's so tumultuous. Who knows what's going to come out later? And we invested in this film with this actor in it who's starting to be kind of problematic, and we don't know what's going to happen in the future. So maybe it's just best that we recast. So I do see it on that end right there. but as, like I said, man, that's why they're getting rid of him, because they just don't want to deal with it. They don't want all the bad press attached to this. It's already this series is suffering enough as it is.
I sort of get that, but I would also kind of counter with the idea that even if it's less successful, right? Aquaman made $1 billion, right? What an achievement! It made $1 billion, but it wasn't sold on Amber Heard's character, right?
No.
She's more of a secondary character, where the franchise more or less seems to be Fantastic Beasts and Crimes of Grindelwald. Like, he is front and center.
Yep.
So having to recast that, it's like, even if it was a little bit less successful, it's like you feel like you're shooting yourself in the foot a little bit by eliminating a more. Like, in any metric, Johnny Depp is a more successful A-lister than Amber Heard is.
Oh yeah,
you know?
yeah. He's, I mean, you hit it right there, man. He's his name, even if he's not the biggest star, or not the biggest, not the biggest star. He is one of the biggest stars. Even if he's not the biggest presence in the movie, he's always going to be one of the biggest stars in the film. He's always going to be the one that attract more attention, no matter what's going on with him, especially if it's in his private life. That being said, man, I think this is not a defense of Johnny Depp at all, and I'm not condemning him, because, like I said, I don't know. I've been back and forth on this, given what information has come out, like I always am. Last thing I heard was that Amber Heard took a shit on his bed. She was the one that was kind of misrepresenting the whole situation. So I said, all right, you know what? I don't want to be the person who jumps on this just because a woman claimed to be the victim, and then I hurt some guy, because people are quick to jump on that. So I didn't. Now, if something comes out about Johnny Depp where he's at fault, I will make my judgments then. It's just kind of like with Woody Allen. Woody Allen, Woody Allen had his day in court. There's no proof on what was going on with all these accusations that happened about him. So I'm not sitting up here railing against Woody Allen. I think it could be possibly something really kind of fucked up and shady going on with him, but until I know that for sure, I'm not railing on him. But I will say what I'm getting to here is that I think that this is kind of unfair for Johnny Depp, where he had this libel suit that went on, and as you say, their laws are different than what they are here. This is a libel suit. This is not a domestic abuse case that's going on. But with this ruling that has happened, and him getting fired from this movie, Fantastic Beasts, mainly that firing, people are going to take that as a sign of guilt. And I don't think anybody should go that far with it right there. I think people should hold off and just take it for what it is right there, which is, he lost a libel suit and he got fired over a studio not wanting to have him fuck with their money. I mean, that's what it comes down to.
No, the firing almost makes the ruling look credible, which I have to tell you again, and maybe I'm just misinformed. I'll be the first one to say that I don't know the ins and outs of libel laws in the UK, but it seems like they're not very credible. Like, there wasn't a lot going on there. And yet, like you said, from the outward appearance, and all anyone's going to see is the headline is, and they've already put them together. Fantastic Beasts star drops out due to the libel lawsuit, wife beater claim. They're already putting that narrative together. And so I think it is really unfortunate, because the perception is going to be that, oh, see, this is the repudiation. This is the punishment for all these things he's done. When, if we're following the story as it came out, and again, I'm not going to sit here and defend a wife beater if that is literally what the case is, but I don't think the burden of proof has extended that. And I think the Woody Allen analogy is a really apt one, because you can personally decide you don't want to engage with that person's art because of the allegations. And that's absolutely your right. Yeah. But one thing I don't think you're able to do is to 100% substantially say that without it being proven in a court of law, especially when investigations have been had. Yeah. So I don't know. It makes me really depressed. He's got another libel case here in the States. I'm really curious to see how that turns out, because if he, and I think you will, I think ultimately, like, you can't just print whatever you want here, obviously.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll change some opinions, but right now it looks very one-sided and very bad.
Yeah. And like I say, I kind of understand Warner Brothers' position, but I still don't think that's, can that be argued as 100% right, what they did? No. And you're going to have a lot of people using this to go up against Johnny Depp who are already against him. And I don't think that's fair. And again, people going to take that as me trying to say that I condone him as a wife beater. I don't. You can say what you want to. There's already people in the chat talking about, so you approve of what Woody Allen does, marrying your stepdaughter is okay. I don't know what you've heard, but there's all kind of things going back and forth between what they say, even what Sun Yi is saying, what other people say. And there's no right or wrong, and there's no proof. I'm not saying marrying your stepdaughter is okay. I don't even know and again, I don't know, even marrying your stepdaughter is okay in certain circumstances. I'm not one to judge. All I know is I don't know is going on? So if you want me to have like this strong opinion and get mad, I'm sorry. You want that for you. I can't give you what you want. You want to get allies and get to like support your anger? That's on you. If I don't know something, I will tell you I don't know, and I don't make judgments until I actually know more. That's just the way I approach things, and I think more people should actually think that way. You know, that's just me.
Yeah, well, I think it's also a case-by-case thing. Like the Cosby thing very quickly became like, I'm going to believe 50 women who all come out and say the same thing without knowing each other and have the MO. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that it's important to obviously listen to everyone if they have a story to tell, but it then has to be verified.
And I don't know how this turned into a whole thing about Woody Allen, but somebody said, Vijay said, Woody Allen has never casted a black person in this movie in his entire life, which is not true. He did cast one person, even that's questionable, but let's not go there, man. You know, no one is required to cast anybody in their movie. I might want to see myself representing his movies or whatever, but Woody Allen's life experience is Woody Allen's. You know, he casts who he wants to. There are people who can go through their whole career and never have to cast a black person in their movies. Nobody's required to do that. That's not foul. You know, if we go to that point, then what are we going to do? We're going to go down and check the list and say, all right, now they have to hire a Latino. Now they have to put a Jew in. Now they have to put a handicapped person in. You know, no one should ever be held down and required to do anything, man. What is wrong with Hollywood is that there should be more opportunities for people to have their voices heard and be represented. That is what's wrong. You know, there's a lot of people who just seem that they're seen as not profitable enough, not valuable enough, even though Hollywood claims to be very liberal and open-minded. No, this is a bunch of bullshit that goes on in Hollywood, but that's a dangerous thing to say, that people are required. You have, all of a sudden you have a quota to fill in your movies. No, there's no affirmative action done to filmmaking, all right, as far as a person's creative vision. That's bullshit. That's complete bullshit.
Yeah, I also have a problem with that because, like, not casting black people or people of color and minorities in your films does not make you a child molester. You know what I'm saying? You can take issue with that, but then you would probably need to take issue with Martin Scorsese, who's done a lot of that as well. David Lynch. There's a lot of people who fit that category.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because they're racist, or maybe it's because the stories they're telling that's not the vantage point of the story. And that's an issue for another day, and that's a valid one. But that doesn't mean that you throw the baby out with the bathwater. You know, so I don't understand that analogy. And to be honest, bringing it back to the depth of it all, it's just like, I don't really understand the ruling. I don't understand Warner Brothers. I understand it from the perspective of, like, maybe there's bad publicity coming out. We want to avoid that altogether. But they waited through the entire summer during the initial allegations and all that stuff to put stock into a less than reputable system, and it just doesn't make sense to me.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I hate that things come down to money, but like, all I have to say is, whether you agree with Warner Brothers' decision or not, Warner Brothers has their reasons for what they want to do, and like I said, I can kind of see why. You know, they have to kind of protect their investment, and unfortunately, if somebody seems like this might be a problem for them later, then they have the right to go in and say, all right, we got to do. I think it's not Warner Brothers' responsibility right now for how people perceive Johnny Depp. People need to understand that this was not a case about his domestic abuse. It was a libel case, and he got fired from something that people are going to run with and they're going to take that as an admission of guilt. And that should not be, that's not what that should be, y'all. You know, everything should be approached fairly. Say what you will, but don't, we don't know what happened between him and Amber Heard, but don't take this as, oh yeah, if he was fired from this movie, he was definitely beating that girl. That's wrong. That's not, at least that's the way I see it. I don't think that's right.
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, is this something where people have short memory, or do you think that we are going to try to make Johnny Depp a pariah? And once again, he may be very well justified a pariah, but as of right now, I don't think that that's necessarily true. Do you think this is something that people sort of get over in a couple of years?
Yes, a couple of years. Should give it a couple of days, man. We'll get, we got way more to worry about than Johnny Depp, who has millions of dollars and can go off to an island somewhere and be fine. There's so much going on in this country. Then, man, he's going to be fine. He got fired from his job, and I'm behind my man not being judged based on that one thing. But no, these people, man, there's a lot more going on, and nobody's going to worry about this in 48 to 72 hours.
Sure, but I think what I would counter with respectfully is to say that it seems like there has been this kind of precipitous, like Icarus-like fall from grace for Johnny Depp in the last 5 years. The narratives, people forget, 20 years ago, this dude was amazing. He was able to go from quirky Tim Burton stuff to more dramatic roles and always transforming himself. I would say that you have never seen Johnny Depp do the same performance twice, at least when he was engaged. And now I feel like he's been phoning it in for at least the last 5 years. But between that and the Amber Heard stuff and the like financial troubles and all the exposés that are getting written, it just seems like this person who was like America's sweetheart for the longest time, like the trajectory is definitely going down.
I mean, it gets to a point where, and it's unfortunate, and I think it's completely wrong, but you just start getting on people's nerves. You wear out your welcome, I think. You know what I mean? And it's not right. It's not. Johnny Depp was one of those people who he was just kind of everywhere. And, you know, he became, like you say, he became a darling. And, you know, and then he did characters that you just got tired of, man. You know, once they start forcing, and we could tell, once they start, oh, I put the wrong thing here. I put Jack Scarlett. I don't know what the hell I was thinking.
I was like, who the fuck is this Jack Scarlett? This kingmaker in Hollywood that I don't know about.
You know, once they start forcing Jack Sparrow in every fucking pirate movie that they were coming out with, and once you went to Disneyland or Disney World, and he started following your kids around. Oh, hey, man. He's like, get the f away from me. It was almost like Jack Sparrow made people sick of Johnny Depp. And then Johnny Depp kept doing sort of the same British accent and things. You know, I mean, I hate to say this. It's a hack thing to say now. I guess I'll say it anyway. But you live long enough to see yourself be the hero. Take that away, fill in the blank, darling, you know, favorite, whatever, until you become the villain or until you're getting on our fucking nerves. And I think people deep down inside, they almost start rooting against somebody they're kind of getting tired of seeing in pop culture today, you know? And I think that's kind of like, it's a shame. And I know it's crazy to think of that when it comes to something as domestic, as serious as domestic abuse and sad as domestic abuse. But I really do think you see a lot of people and they're just tired of seeing that person. I think Johnny Depp got to be one of those people, man. A little oversaturated.
Which I find especially sad, by the way, because I think it's definitely in vogue, and I understand it, to hate on the Jack Sparrow character. But I go back and try to put yourself in the mindset of that first Pirates film, like such an enjoyable popcorn flick, and he was so good in that. I think the problem is that every subsequent Pirates movie took the wrong lessons away from why we really like Jack Sparrow, and then just did that over and over again, you know? And it just fatigued everybody. I mean, I'm the same way. I used to love him, and I'm like, I don't care what he's doing, really. But I do feel bad about this situation a little.
Yeah, well, we'll see, man. Hopefully, like I said, I think in his you know, not in his defense, but to the best thing that he has right now is that people are not gonna care about this after a while, you know. So we'll see.
Here's hoping.
Yeah, we'll see.